And our last speaker today is Gloria Zhao. She's a second-year undergraduate student studying computer science and psychology here at UC Berkeley. She's a member also of the Blockchain at Berkeley group. She is interested in blockchain's potential in supply chain transparency and fair trade. This past semester, she worked on a project to develop a proof of concept for blockchain supply chains in the pharmaceutical industry. So welcome, Gloria.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Gloria. Like Melissa, I'm representing blockchain at Berkeley. My team did pharmaceutical supply chains, and I had some lovely team members who are not here today, but they did a lot of work. I want to start off with kind of a way of looking at blockchains. A lot of us say, distributed ledgers and consensus protocols and cryptographic hash functions. But I'm a humble undergrad student, and most of the people I talk to don't know what blockchain is, and that doesn't really help either. So I describe it as a way of maintaining data integrity. And this is this makes a lot of sense in the supply chain industry because you have a lot of untrusted parties that are sharing data, and blockchains are definitely designed to share and store data around assets. And so it's a very popular application. You can look at an item on a blockchain and it can tell you the entire history of where it came from and what happened between the time that it began until you got it. And you can trust that this information is integrous and wasn't changed and is secure. And this leads to some really exciting potential applications in the future. Like, let's say I bought a diamond necklace from a designer company. I can look up on the blockchain and see, it's authentic and it was made by this designer at this time. The workers were properly compensated. The diamond is ethically sourced. I feel very good as a consumer seeing all the transparency and knowing that I'm being a responsible consumer. Let's say I buy a chocolate bar or a cup of coffee or some tea bags, and it says fair trade on it, and it has a history on the blockchain. That, to me, is a perfect future. I love talking about fair trade in blockchains. But our team worked on pharmaceuticals, and it's because we were looking at where should we begin with this sort of supply chain blockchain future. And what we saw was a law passed a couple years ago called the Drug Supply Chain Security Act to be implemented over the next few years. And it mandates that all pharmaceutical products have to be serialized with some kind of unique identity and tracked and traced in some kind of all-encompassing digital record. And so when we looked at this, we thought, oh, this is just screaming blockchain. And the end goal of this law is to be able to identify counterfeits, which is something that is social good and we're interested in. And so when we were thinking about this supply chain, how we would implement it, there's a little bit of a reconfiguration that needs to happen. Right now, all companies do collect data about the products that they handle. Right? I received this drug and I sent it, but they have a very limited viewing scope of what they can see, but a lot of responsibility in preventing counterfeits. And so you can put all these company-centered data together in one big central database, but you still don't really get the big picture, right? For counterfeits, we're interested in what happens between these companies and not what the companies are reporting, but what actually happened. And so the idea is we see blockchain happening as starting out as some kind of private or consortium network in which the FDA will approve a company and they'll join the network, and every single product or company that they interact with will then be a part of the network, and we're ensured that everything is encompassed in this system. So first you'll start out with pharmaceutical companies with write access. You can have the FDA with read access, and maybe even in the future us consumers can pull up an app and scan a pill bottle and be able to see, it went through all the proper procedures, it's FDA certified, the container was never broken, so I know nothing happened to this drug and it's real, and my health is not compromised. And so from there, you have a company like a manufacturer will make a batch of pills, and they'll make an identity for it on the network, on the blockchain, and they'll seal some kind of secure RFID or hardware chip along with the pills inside of a sealed container. There's a little bit of conversation as to how exactly that happens, but we were focused on blockchain. So then we wrote a smart contract platform. I don't have a screenshot of it, but I can show you if you're interested, where if, say, two companies want to send batch number 123 with 100 pills to another company, they can set up a smart contract saying, okay, these are the pills I'm sending you, this is the day it's supposed to happen, these are our payment information, as soon as you get the stuff and the RFID scanner and the oracles, whatever happens and verifies in the real world, then that data is then updated on the blockchain and we can make sure that that information is true. And the cool part is, let's say a package goes missing, or let's say it's found that one of the container seals was broken. We can find that out immediately, basically, as soon as it's found out in real time, and the FDA can be notified, and recalls can happen, investigations can happen immediately, and that's really how you deal with counterfeits. So in many ways, this solves a lot of problems in the supply chain of pharmaceuticals, right? There's international trade for most, if not all, of the pharmaceutical industry, and blockchains are very good at handling that. We can help eliminate counterfeits, and this can really expand with AI and other parts of healthcare into a really great way to help people receive the right healthcare and save a lot of lives, really. But there are some obstacles. We hit a couple walls during our semester on this project. Someone asked us, so how do these RFID chips work? Like, can I just replicate it and put it on another bottle? We did we looked into food at some point, and someone was like, oh, what if you have a bunch of grapes? Where are you gonna put the chip? On the vine, on each individual grape? Like, how are you gonna make sure that the physical world matches with the digital world? And so we scratched our heads about this for months, and we couldn't figure out what to do. But that's a problem that is for someone else to solve. But yeah, so we need secure oracles and encrypted chips to solve that problem. There's also an issue of technology maturity, et cetera. Basically, there's a good future for blockchain and supply chain, and there's a lot of really great potential things that can happen, but there's also some steps along the way that we need to go through. So thank you for listening. It's a pleasure to be here.